Today, we're diving into Douglas Rushkoff's really essential guide to the digital age, Program or Be Programmed. It's this powerful call to action, a way to reclaim our own agency in a world that's increasingly being shaped by code we can't even see. So in this explainer, we're basically going to journey through the book's biggest ideas. We'll kick things off by uncovering technology's hidden biases, then we'll get into how to reclaim our sense of time and place, how to move past those simple black and white choices, how to manage our identity online, and what our new social contract looks like. And finally, we'll hit the one essential command that honestly ties it all together. All right, so let's get right into the core premise. Rushkoff starts things off with this really provocative idea that, well, it sets the stage for everything else that follows. This statement seems simple, but there's a really powerful truth packed in there. Think about it. Just like the invention of the alphabet encouraged us to think in a straight line, or how the printing press amplified individualism, our digital tech today comes with its own set of instructions for how we ought to act. You see, digital technology has its own set of preferences. It absolutely favors speed over slow, careful deliberation. It loves short bursts of information way more than deep, long-form thought. It's all about networks instead of old-school hierarchies. It pushes for decentralization over any central authority. And maybe most importantly, it runs on binary logic, yes or no, 1 or 0, which just strips away all the messy, beautiful nuance of real life. And here's the real kicker. Rushkoff's whole point is that most of us are using these tools every single day, and we have no idea these biases are even at play. And this right here brings us to the book's central thesis. It's a stark choice, really, and a huge call to action. We have to reclaim our agency from these invisible forces that are shaping us. So here's a crucial point. When Rushkoff says program, he isn't just talking about learning how to code in Python or something. He means we need to develop a kind of critical literacy, the ability to actually see and understand how these digital systems are designed to influence us and direct our behavior. Okay, so let's move on and see how this all trickles down into our everyday lives, starting with two of the most fundamental human concepts there are, time and place. Digital systems, they operate at machine speed. They're instantaneous, they're continuous, and they never get tired. But we aren't machines. Rushkoff really highlights this fundamental mismatch. Technology wants to speed up time, but we, as biological creatures, are just wired for rhythm. We need breaks, we need cycles. If you remember the early internet, things felt asynchronous, right? You actually had time to think before you replied to an email. But now with instant messaging, endless push notifications, and real-time feeds, we've been shoved into what's called perpetual partial attention. It's that feeling of constant, fractured focus that I'm sure we all know way too well. It's like trying to get work done while Slack is just pinging away, demanding an immediate response. And the consequences of this are very real. We get this low-level anxiety from the pressure of always having to be available. We lose our ability to do deep, focused work. Our capacity for just sitting and thinking things through erodes. And we all feel that social pressure to reply instantly to every single ping, ding, and notification. We have got to reclaim human time. This leads right into our next challenge. So, digital media makes geography irrelevant, but while these amazing tools connect us with people all over the globe, they can seriously disconnect us from the people in the same room. Look at this slide. We can be physically together, but digitally, we're miles apart. So the command here is pretty clear. Live in person. Use your digital tools to enhance your real-world relationships, not to replace them. Okay. Now let's take a look at how the very logic of our digital world ends up shaping our ability to think and to choose, and how it often simplifies reality in some pretty dangerous ways. At their core, digital systems are built on binary logic. It's either 1 or 0, yes or no, like or dislike. But as we all know, human experience is anything but binary. It's nuanced, it's ambiguous, it's complex, and a lot of the time, it's just plain messy. Digital platforms are constantly forcing us into these artificial choices that, surprise, surprise, benefit them. Things like accept all cookies or just like or ignore. This is where our agency has to kick in. We've got to learn to recognize these false choices for what they are and just refuse to play. Real power starts the moment you realize you can always choose none of the above. And this digital bias, this push towards simplification, it has serious real-world effects. It leads to overconfidence, it absolutely fuels polarization, it encourages this kind of reductionist thinking, and it locks us all into echo chambers where being certain is rewarded way more than being curious. So what's the antidote to all this? Well, it's another command: embrace ambiguity. It just means accepting that no model, no fancy algorithm can ever truly capture the messy, complicated truth of reality. It's really a call for intellectual humility, for recognizing that complexity is a feature of life, not some bug that needs to be fixed. Let's keep going and see how all of this builds into our sense of self. I mean, how do we even maintain an authentic identity when digital platforms are operating at this massive, totally inhuman scale? A digital platform can scale up to millions of users just like that. But a friendship can't. A real community can't do that. Rushkoff warns us not to apply this bigger is always better logic to our human lives. The command is to remember that one size does not fit all. Some things, to have any real meaning, need to stay small, local, and human-sized. Our online identity often feels, well, fluid and performative, right? The platforms themselves encourage us to curate the perfect persona, to optimize our profiles to get the maximum attention, to fragment ourselves across a dozen different apps, and basically to treat our own identity like it's a brand that needs to be managed. And this constant performance, it leads to a loss of authenticity. And so Rushkoff's command here is so simple, but it's also profound. Just be yourself. It's a call to maintain a real, solid connection between your online and offline life, and to ground your identity in your lived experience, not in algorithmic incentives. Okay, let's explore our responsibilities to each other in this new digital world. Rushkoff lays out a kind of social pact that's based on how we handle our relationships, the truth, and even the idea of sharing itself. This pact has 3 core parts. First, do not sell your friends, which means we have to protect our relationships from being turned into data points or just assets in a transaction. Second, tell the truth. We have this collective responsibility to commit to accuracy in an information system that would much rather reward outrage and virality over actual facts. And third, share, don't steal, meaning we should practice ethical openness that actually respects creators and avoids exploitation. And now we've arrived at the climax of the book, the final command that really pulls everything we've been talking about together. This is the core imperative of Rushkoff's entire argument. You see, without that critical literacy that we talked about earlier, we just become passive consumers. We are being shaped and directed by forces we don't even see, by the algorithms, by the design of the platforms, by their built-in incentive structures, and by 1,000 other invisible design choices. And so we come to the final command, the book's title itself, Program or Be Programmed. We have to learn to think like a programmer. And again, that doesn't mean you need to learn to code. It means you need to understand the systems, you need to act with intention, and you need to start shaping the technology instead of just letting it shape you. So in the end, this book isn't a rejection of technology at all. It's actually a blueprint for how to participate mindfully. It's a call for digital literacy, so we understand the tools we use. It's about designing a better relationship between humans and tech, one that's actually centered on our needs. It demands ethical engagement in how we treat each other online. It's all about reclaiming our personal agency in every single click and choice. And finally, it's about embracing our collective responsibility to build a better digital world for everyone. In a world where technology feels like it's defining our choices and our reality more and more, Rushkoff leaves us with a message that's both hopeful and incredibly urgent. We still have the power to shape our tools, if we choose to. So the question this whole explainer leaves us with is a personal one. For all of us living in this digital age, will we choose to